It's May 31st, 2019, and this is your Tech Moment. FireEye's failure of self-reflection may cost their reputation. First, a note about yesterday's coverage of a blog post by Luke McNamara, principal analyst at FireEye. I've been using FireEye as a resource for quite some time. Their expert monitoring of major hacking events, charts of players, and evaluation always seems to have an angle that was unique and at the tip of the spear. However, yesterday, they announced that they would host Hillary Clinton as a keynote speaker at their security conference this fall. What followed on Twitter was nothing short of day-long integrity roasting. How could FireEye not see this PR disaster coming? Whether you're a hashtag I'm with her devotee or a hashtag MAGA hat wearer, facts surrounding Mrs. Clinton's roll your own closet server with state secrets and potential backdoors to foreign actors has been the focus of debate for nearly 5 years. For FireEye to promote Mrs. Clinton in this way calls into question whether they are biased in their analyses of world events. For now, I will be going a step further before promoting FireEye's findings to see if their unique angle is politically motivated, and I suggest you do the same. FireEye's stock price is following its integrity in Friday morning's trading. For the record, I reached out to FireEye for comment on Twitter and received no response. And in related news, BlackBerry Messenger shuts down for good today, reports Engadget. Today, MTech pulls the plug on BlackBerry Messenger. The company announced last month that it would shut the consumer service, which has been steadily losing customers and failing to attract new ones. As a consolation for die-hard fans, BlackBerry opened BBM Enterprise, its enterprise-grade encrypted messenger for personal use, BBME. That's available on Android, iOS, Windows, and Mac. 3 years ago, the company set out to reinvigorate BBM consumer service, but those efforts fell flat. Quote, "We poured our hearts into making this a reality, and we are proud of what we have built to date," BlackBerry wrote on its blog. The technology industry, however, is very fluid, and in spite of our substantial efforts, users have moved on to other platforms, while new users prove difficult to sign on. The company faced plenty of competition, and at various points, it sued Twitter, Facebook, and Snap over patent infringement. In 2017, the company surprised many by adding Uber to the BBM app. Despite those efforts, the platform's popularity continued to dwindle. Time will tell if BlackBerry can convert BBM users into BBME fans. Following U.S. Huawei ban, China threatens own blacklist for foreign firms, from TechCrunch. Odds of the U.S. and China cooling off their trade war further diminished on Friday after the world's most populous nation said it would create a list of unreliable foreign firms of its own. Gao Fang, a spokesman of China's Commerce Ministry, said today that the nation will create an entity list that will include, in part, foreign companies that have stopped or curtailed their businesses with Chinese firms. Quote, "Foreign enterprises, organizations, or individuals that do not comply with market rules, deviate from a contract's spirit, or impose blockades or stop supplies to Chinese enterprises for non-commercial purposes, and seriously damage the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese enterprises will be included on a list of unreliable entities," he was quoted as saying by state-owned local media. The retaliation comes weeks after the U.S. Commerce Department listed Huawei and 68 affiliates in an entity list over national security concerns, thereby requiring American companies to take approval from the government before conducting business with Chinese firms. A 90-day reprieve has been granted to allow companies such as Google to offer critical support to Huawei, however. In the aftermath of that direction, several American firms, including Google, Intel, and Qualcomm, have curtailed their business agreements with the Chinese giant. Huawei executives have said in recent weeks that such a ban on the company in the U.S. will significantly impact its business and hurt its reputation worldwide. Even as details remain sparse at the moment, much of Silicon Valley giants appear to fit the bill of the companies that China wants on its blacklist. Over the weekend, China will increase tariffs on $60 billion in U.S. goods in response to U.S. duties on $200 billion in Chinese products earlier this month. The two nations have shown little signs of reaching a resolution. Huawei, in the meantime, has filed a legal motion to challenge the U.S. ban on its equipment, calling it unconstitutional. The company has also sent its American employees deployed at R&D functions at its Shenzhen headquarters home. It has also asked its Chinese employees to limit conversations with overseas visitors and cease any technical meetings with their U.S. contacts. Over at Computer World today, what do recent public SAP exploits mean for enterprises? Recently released public SAP exploits dubbed 10K Blaze could pose a security risk for thousands of businesses. Computer World executive editor Ken Mingus and CSO Online's Lucian Constantin discussed the fallout of 10K Blaze and how businesses using SAP should respond. You can watch that video over at computerworld.com today. Trend Micro, this week in security news, trickbots and infected containers. It's the list of their roundup of this week's security headlines. TrickBot attack forces Ohio school district to cancel classes. A school district in Ohio suspended classes on Monday, May 20th because of a TrickBot attack on its network and computers. The IoT attack surface, threats and security solutions. Part of adopting the Internet of Things is anticipating what else the technology brings to the environments it's being applied to, not least of which are security concerns that can give rise to successful attacks on IoT systems and devices. Hacker has designs on Canva data, steals info belonging to 139 million users. The graphic design website Canva was hacked in a data theft incident which exposed usernames, email addresses, encrypted passwords, customer names, and more. CVE 2019-0725, an analysis of its exploitability. A remote code execution vulnerability from May's Patch Tuesday is particularly hard to ignore. CVE 2019-0725, an RCE vulnerability in Windows Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, yes, DHCP server, which doesn't require user interaction and affects all versions of Windows Server. New Mirai variant uses multiple exploits to target routers and other devices. Trend Micro discovered a new variant of Mirai that uses a total of 13 different exploits in a single campaign, the first Mirai variant to do so, and has backdoor and distributed denial of service (DDoS) capabilities. First American hit with class action lawsuit over massive data exposure. Insurance giant First American Financial is facing a class action lawsuit for negligence after it left more than 885 million sensitive documents dating as far back as 2003 exposed online. CVE 2019-11815, a cautionary tale about CVSS scores. At first glance, the details for Linux kernel vulnerability CVE 2019-11815, its score from CVSS seems like a worst-case scenario, but assessing a vulnerability's potential impact goes beyond the attack vector, privileges, and CIA impact of the base score. Flipboard says hackers stole user details. Flipboard, a news aggregator service and mobile news app, has started notifying users of a security incident during which hackers had access to internal systems for more than 9 months. Infected cryptocurrency mining containers target Docker hosts with exposed APIs. Use Shodan to find additional victims. By analyzing the logs and traffic data coming to and from a honeypot, Trend Micro found a container came from a public and accessible Docker Hub repository named Zulu2 that contained images with the binary of a Monero cryptocurrency miner. Nearly 1 million systems affected worldwide by wormable BlueKeep vulnerability, CVE 2019-0708. Almost 1 million systems are reportedly vulnerable to BlueKeep, a critical vulnerability in remote desktop services. But Microsoft's Patch Tuesday for May already rolled out patches for BlueKeep, and security advisories were released to help users address the vulnerability. Under GDPR, UK data breach reports quadruple. The United Kingdom has seen the number of data breach notifications more than quadruple since Europe's GDPR privacy law went into full force as a result of mandatory reporting driving better visibility. You can check out this and the entire roundup of this week's security news by John Clay at Trend Micro today. From Tech Dirt, DOJ floats a stupid idea to salvage the Sprint T-Mobile merger. While the Pi FCC is chomping at the bit to approve T-Mobile and Sprint's competition and job-killing mega union, rumors are that DOJ staffers remain highly skeptical about the purported benefits of the deal. The sticking point remains the same, that the merger would reduce overall competition in the space by 25%. A move that historically almost always results in higher consumer prices and less effort and innovation overall. Unions and Wall Street analysts also believe the deal will eliminate anywhere between 10,000 and 30,000 jobs as redundant positions are inevitably eliminated, something T-Mobile continues to deny. While Sprint and T-Mobile lobbyists continue to apply as much pressure as they can in a bid for regulatory approval, there's every indication that the DOJ remains highly resistant to their charms. For example, Bloomberg reports that one proposed condition being pushed by the DOJ is the mandatory creation of an entirely new fourth competitor in the wake of the deal. In short, T-Mobile and Sprint would be forced to divest spectrum and other assets to create a fourth competitor to keep the market semi-healthy. Quote, top Justice Department officials want T-Mobile US Inc. and Sprint Corp. to lay the groundwork for a new wireless carrier with its own network as a condition to clearing their $26.5 billion merger, according to a person familiar with the matter. Having regulators enforce merger conditions on a good day is usually an uphill climb. Expecting them to steer the creation and protection of an entirely new company for decades isn't something government's likely to excel at. And given his FCC has yet to stand up to the industry on a single issue of substance, anybody expecting Ajit Pai to be a functional beat cop here hasn't been paying much attention. It's unlikely Sprint and T-Mobile are particularly keen on such a proposal, given it hamstrings what is, to them, the two biggest benefits of the deal: less overall competition and a massive trove of wireless spectrum. But even if they did sign off on such a plan, it's hard to see how just blocking the deal outright to protect the competition isn't a much cleaner and simpler solution. Spotify is building shared queue social listening. This story comes to us from TechCrunch. Want to rock out together even when you're apart? Spotify has prototyped an unreleased feature called social listening. It lets multiple people add songs to a queue they can all listen to. You can just scan one friend's QR-style Spotify social listening code, and then anyone can add songs to the real-time playlist. Spotify could potentially expand the feature to synchronize playback so you'd actually hear the same notes at the same time, but for now, it's just a shared queue. Social listening could give Spotify a new viral growth channel, as users could urge friends to download the app to sync up. The intimate experience of co-listening might lead to longer sessions with Spotify, boosting ad plays or subscription retention. Plus, it could differentiate Spotify from Apple Music, YouTube Music, Tidal, and other competing streaming services. Read more about this from Josh Constant about this hidden feature in development over at TechCrunch. Help me spread the news. Share this blog with the social media buttons at your disposal. Get updates throughout the day from my Twitter feed at WEYM0. Subscribe free to the Your Tech Moment blog, the RSS feed, the Amazon skill for your flash briefing. Listen to the podcast from SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Spotify, or watch on YouTube. If you have a special news item you'd like us to promote, or if you would like to sponsor this podcast with an embedded advertisement, please follow me on Twitter. And when I follow you back, send a direct message to get more information. Have a great weekend, everyone.